apply to such?
Well, first of all, in our country at least, the question of UFOs is still not settled. There's been pros and cons for at least 3 decades. Claimings of sightings, and then others disproved the sightings, that they weren't really UFOs. If there are creatures on other Earths, other worlds, this is possible. But that they visit us, I don't know. If there are creatures on other worlds, are they saved by the sacrifice of Jesus? We can't say for sure, except that I think it's in Colossians. It says, let's see, Colossians. I hope I can find it. In Colossians 1, talks about Jesus as the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. In him all things were created, heaven and earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions, principalities, all were created through him and for him. So if there are creatures, and it's possible there are in other worlds far different than human beings, they're still people or creatures that Jesus created. He is before all things, in him all things hold together. In him the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him, that's verse 19, through Jesus to reconcile to himself, that's the Father, all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. Now, we don't know what creatures or beings there are in heaven that were reconciled to the Father. But Paul says, Colossians 1:19, in Jesus, all the fullness, that the Greek word is pleroma, which means absolute totality, all the fullness of deity or of God was pleased to dwell in his body, and through Jesus to reconcile to himself, to the Father, all things, angels, creatures, critters, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. So that's why we sometimes speak of Christ's redemption as a cosmic redemption. He redeemed everything that is against God in the entire heavenly or earthly spectrum, in the universe, we'd say. But beyond that, we don't know. And we have to be careful. The Bible, there's many things that we don't know. And the reason we don't know them is God has, for his own good reasons, not given us information on them. And that includes UFOs. If they exist or don't exist, we don't know, but the Bible doesn't say one way or the other. And if they sinned and need reconciliation, well then Jesus' death on the cross reconciled everything in heaven and earth, principalities or powers, whatever, on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. That's all we can say. But it's a redeemed universe. And, Jesus doesn't have to die in half a dozen worlds. The whole thing is that the death of Jesus was a substitutionary. He died the death that we deserved, and to spare us from it. He stepped in our place and took the bullet, so to speak. And because he did that, now we have a redeemed world. God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself, not accounting their trespasses against them. That's 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Same once for all, that's Hebrews chapter 9 and 10, I think.